We're live.
Oh
Hello.
God.
Hello, and welcome to the 31st, God, I hope that's the right number, episode of the Destiny Community Podcast, brought to you by Blue Microphones. This week, we are joined by brain fart. Professor Broman's here. Hi.
Hi, I'm Professor Broman.
Hello.
The pros and bros.
We look really similar. We both have kind of like the round face. We got the glasses. I used to be bald for a very short amount of time.
You know, I've heard you say that before, but you know, he's much better looking than you are. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
That's just rude, Pope. No, that's just rude.
I mean, look at him. I mean,
he's got at least 5 more points of sex appeal on him. Just gotta say.
Yeah, he's got the sex appeal.
I look like a toe.
No. I don't know. Let's leave it up to Watts. Which one is more attractive, Watts? Patrick?
That's like really unfair. Why can't the gentleman decide who's more attractive?
Why can't I decide?
Yeah.
Briar, which one would you want to date? Patrick or Broman?
Not even who's just most
I'm a
attractive.
very
Who are you
successful
dating?
broadcaster.
Who are you dating, Briar?
So which one
take
would you want to
care
take
of
home? Which one would
Take
you
home to
want
mom
to take
or
home
take
to
home
mom?
to...
No, which one would you want to take home for the weekend?
Oh, yes.
I'd date Patrick, but I'd
What
marry
kind of
Broman.
taking home are we talking about? Oh.
I'd date Patrick, but I'd marry Broman.
Grabbing my controller because
fantastic.
think I'm about to play video games, but I'm not.
No.
Because I only sit in this chair.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm more attracted to Broman too. It's like married men. That's what you got to go for. They know how,
That's when you know. That's how you know they're reliable, right?
Yeah.
Sponsor.
they know how to commit to something.
I feel like everybody in the Destiny community already knows you, but could you give us if you're tuning in or knows you, Broman? If you're tuning in right now, and you know who is this sexy bald man, and they weren't talking about Patrick. What would you say? What do you do for the Destiny community? How would they know you?
Hi, I'm Professor Broman. I stream video games on Twitch. You may recognize me from ruining a House of Wolves reveal by laughing very loud. And also, I got world's first for King's Fall with the rest of my team.
Yay!
That resume is
I'm
beautiful.
just fucking around. No, you've probably seen me around, whether it was on Twitter or at the House of Wolves reveal or the descending memes after that. But other things that I do for the community, if you've heard of Guardian Con, or as it was known in its previous iterations, Destiny Con, which was just originally an oversized meetup in a bar that accidentally had a 1,000 person turnout, or Destiny Community Con, which was our first attempt at actually doing a con, and then now Guardian Con. I am one of the 3 founding members of that event, along with Kevin and Corey. Corey, you will probably know from his stream, which is King Cathalion, and Kevin, who you might not know streams, is K Magic 101. So if you've heard my name before, it's probably in association with those things. I stream on Twitch every day, and yeah, that's me. Hi.
Hi.
And so some of the things, it's funny that you choose to highlight yourself and describe yourself in what you do in the community. When I go through the directory and I tune into your channel, I find an interactive chat, great atmosphere, and entertainment. Would you describe what you do? I mean, I think that those things are the hallmark of your channel and the way that I would describe you. But would you say you focus on PvE or PvP or just Destiny, or do you play other games as well?
I've been playing a lot more other games now since Destiny's sort of had a very dry spell until the Age of Triumph came out. Until it come out, man. It's got to come out until it came out. So it's been like fun returning to that. But I mean, like PvE is my favorite side of things. And I actually was really getting into PvP, but Trials kind of isn't like my thing. I don't really like that game mode a lot, which it's okay. You don't have to like everything.
You don't do double carries on Trials.
No, I don't do double carries. And so like streaming on Twitch if you're not doing Trials, because for a long time, it was the only thing in the game that had any sort of moderate relevance.
Yeah.
So people are like, why are you doing the only thing that matters? And you're just like, because I don't think it's fun. Well, fuck you. Like, you know. So I but I actually really like PvP. I'm actually excited about Mayhem Iron Banner, which is coming next week, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I mean, I would describe my channel as a place where you can come and hang out and get a dose of humor and inspiration, and occasionally the smell of a well-roasted troll. That's
nice.
A little Legend of Zelda, a little bit.
Yeah, I've been playing some Legend of Zelda. That was really fun. I don't know. I like to do playthroughs of scary games too. I just finished Outlast 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was horrifying.
I got to see your clip, and it was amazing. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, it's literally Broman screaming for his life. Like
which clip? There was like 10 of those during that.
This was amazing though. Like it was a blood-curdling scream of like a horror and demise that was right in front of you. I played it too, and I got spooked on that exact same spot. I do like kind of an internal thing, and I shook uncontrollably at this part. You just like screamed, and it was amazing.
We've heard your squeal, Tufty.
There was a squeak at one point, yeah.
Oh my god,
yes,
dude.
there was a squeak.
So what is it about those horror games that draws you to them, Broman?
I mean, like, they're fun for people to watch, and I don't know. I probably wouldn't play them if I wasn't streaming, but sometimes it's nice to be scared. Like, my wife and I enjoy a horror movie every once in a while, so
I just look
it's
at my
nice to
bank
get
account to be scared.
Describe your setup. I mean, do you turn off all the lights in the house and like the room? Do you increase the environment for yourself?
No. All those reactions and stuff. If you watch me play, I'm in a well lit room.
Okay.
It doesn't help.
It
doesn't
make it
help.
matter. All right.
No.
All right.
It doesn't help, yeah.
Yeah, no, I made the mistake of like I turned on for Outlast 2. I turned on, made all my alerts for the stream like spooky, and then I did text to speech with like a creepy like 12-year-old sounding boy voice, so people would be like, dude, tip something. And then it was like this horrifying. They just like make the little kids say terrible shit. Like, I can't wait to get out of the basement and eat your flesh. And so like I'm finally starting to calm down after something happens on screen. And then like my tension level gets ratcheted back up because somebody's like, man, I have $1. I'll make this worse. And
I played Resident Evil in VR on stream, and I couldn't see any of the alerts or anything popping up. And because that game is so quiet, right? It's like, it's moody and atmospheric.
Yep.
Every time an alert would pop up, it would blast. And it was like the scariest part of the entire stream was the alert.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to every once in a while give your viewers an opportunity to make life really terrible for you.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you play other games. You like to be scared. I've also seen you being an assistant to a chef.
Oh yeah,
live.
That's something. That's another thing that my wife's a fantastic home cook. It's like something that runs in her family. So she's been like cooking in the kitchen ever since she was 5. So she, for a long time since we moved, everyone was like, you have to do a cooking stream. So we finally pulled the trigger on that, and we did our first cooking stream on Easter, which was just really, really fun. And I cameramaned the whole thing with my phone and like a little $60 attachable microphone. And we got drunk, and I held a selfie stick for 5 hours, and it was awesome.
Well, what I love about that is that you didn't just do a stream in your kitchen, which is, by the way, a very beautiful kitchen. I'm very jealous of the island. It's gorgeous. The granite countertops. I mean, it's very beautiful. So, one of the things that I liked about it is that your wife, she included the community of like what you're gonna make. You feel like
voted on it.
Do you feel like your life as a streamer kind of indicates or kind of invites that sort of? Do you feel like that's an invasive thing in your privacy as a streamer, or do you enjoy that including people into that piece of your life or to that level of intimacy? I guess.
I mean, at first I had a really hard time learning how to. I think it's just part of growing. Like in any entertainment field, you have to learn how to build walls, because at first, right, like you're entertaining like a smaller group of people, like like it's like 10 people in a bar listening to you play a guitar, and then in 5 years you're playing guitar in like a packed venue. And the process from going from that tiny bar to a big venue, you have to learn like there are certain places like that you're like, okay, well now I can't be like this familiar with people anymore. So I would say for a long time, I don't think I had a good handle on like that work life or public life, private life balance. But for me now, it's gotten to the point where if I'm like, hey, let's do this thing together, it's not like a knee-jerk reaction or I feel like I have to. It's always a choice, which is,
good.
It makes it better for everyone involved, because if somebody is doing something and they feel forced to do it, they're not going to like have a great time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
And I feel like the audience, you had 2,500 some plus viewers watching you make dinner with your wife for a good, I mean,
it was 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
My forearm will never forget.
But I'm telling you, she did a kick-ass job. I'm excited that you guys had an opportunity to share that. I know my wife, who is mildly interested in Destiny, but is very interested in being a homemaker and cooking and taking care of the house. She found that connection with what your wife was talking about and really enjoyed it. And we sat and we watched together, which is something that we don't often do. We don't often watch Twitch together. So I just wanted to throw that out there, say you guys did a great job. And,
thank you.
If you're
Maybe
watching
do it again soon.
Yeah, you guys should
Hopefully.
be doing it again soon.
Is that the success of what IRL could be? The IRL streams could be is bringing in people who don't necessarily watch Twitch because they're gamers.
Totally. I mean, we've seen a lot of things recently with IRL, including somebody getting swatted on a plane, but which was a whole big thing. But I think that IRL and the creative parts of Twitch definitely give space to using it as a live streaming platform for other things. I honestly feel like Twitch is always going to be like, it's going to be the place for games. So it's not going to be a place where you could, let's say, what you want to start up your cooking stream, you're going to do it on Twitch. Because I just don't feel like the user base is naturally looking for that. But I think if you're already a broadcaster and you have another side of your life that you love just as much as gaming, such as cooking, then it works really well, kind of in conjunction. So I think it's a good supplement. I don't know if it's a good, I don't know if it's ever going to be like a fully fledged, oh my God, so-and-so's cooking right now, let's fucking go.
Unless they bring Gordon Ramsay and he's like, we're going to do this thing and make this like the cooking stream.
Yes. Like, I think if the Food Network decided that they wanted to start putting their personalities on Twitch, like that would be
huge.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not another format like it, right? It's like there's no TV show you could go and watch where you actually watch somebody cook a meal from start to finish for 4 to 5 hours, right? Like that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And
it would be really cool to watch like really skilled chef cook for 4 hours. Like that would
like any activity, right? Like a car mechanic taking apart a carburetor, or like whatever your interest is, you could be watching that happen, in real life. Yeah. And then you can watch the VOD if you missed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's really cool for traveling. So if, before when you would step away from your stream and like, well, damn it, I can't stream. What am I supposed to do? Whereas now, if you're going on a vacation, you can take your audience with you and let them enjoy wherever it is that you're going and kind of bring them along for the ride a little bit. So I think that
don't do it on the plane.
Awesome. Don't do it on the plane.
Don't do it on the plane. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Well, obviously we're excited to have you on. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, because not only, like you said earlier, not only do you stream and you stream Destiny, but your role with Guardian Con and a couple other things that we've got to talk about today.
Sure.
So, Patrick, you want to hit it off? Do we want to go to Destiny news next, or what do you want to do next?
I kind of want to talk about Guardian Con because that's one of the main reasons why we brought Professor Broman onto the show. So for the most people already know what Guardian Con is by now, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I hope so.
I hope so, but I think
not,
a brief it. Yeah, but if not, please give us like a quick little deal about it.
Yeah. So if you don't know what Guardian Con is, which I'd assume your audience listening wherever, or even people who are watching the stream right now haven't heard of it because I get questions about it constantly. Guardian Con is a fan-run charity event. It started off as like a Destiny community event for the first 2 years. This year we're starting to expand it to include people from like kind of all corners of gaming. But the primary focus of it is to get together and celebrate gaming for good, and raise money for charity. Those are kind of the primary focuses. And last year we raised $566,000 for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We raised all of that inside of 1 week. And this
crazy.
year it's pretty nuts. And this year we're going to shoot for $1 million. And yeah, Guardian Con itself, the convention side is in Tampa, Florida. It's June 30th and July 1st. And tickets are on sale right now, and they're not that much.
I know I got mine, and I'm really excited to be heading out there. What is not that much like cost? Like,
if you're a 2-day pass for Guardian Con is $40.
That's awesome
Compared to PAX, which is
insane.
I don't know, a lot of money.
Compared to PAX, which is you didn't get it when it went on sale and you bought it from a scalper for $500.
Yeah.
Like that's.
And and there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of stuff to do there. There's a lot of stuff packed into 2 days, right?
It's we haven't announced the full schedule of events yet.
Okay.
And for those of you that can't attend, because this is always brought up first, Guardian Con main stage will be streamed on Twitch, Twitter, Beam, Facebook Live, and YouTube.
Nice.
Wow.
So you'll be able to watch it anywhere you want. But yeah, over the course of the 2 days at Guardian Con, we have 100+ content creators coming in. So we have a lot of people doing meetups. We have the podcast theater, which you all are going to be a part of. We're going to have 7 or 8 separate podcasts that'll be filmed in front of a live audience there. We also have what we've branded this year as the Q&A workshop, which is sort of like a secondary panel area that won't be streamed, where we'll have people discussing all sorts of different stuff, from Twitch streaming to YouTube content editing, sort of anything in the gaming sphere that involves content creation, or maybe, if we can work it out, a couple of industry folks that would be happy to share their insight from what it's like on the other side of the screen creating the games, and like, whatever they want to talk about. And then on the main stage, we're going to have a whole bunch of really fun panels. I'm going to be doing an interview with one of the higher ups at St. Jude, where they can sort of tell everything, talk about what they do there. But we are ending the event with the hardest fought thing that we needed to put together for the event. It took us 9 months to get it all set up and approved with Bungie. But we're running a $50,000 charity tournament, PvP tournament, to close out the event. And it's going to be incredible. That was actually the hardest thing for us to put together. $50,000 charity tournament. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So the winning team, which it's an invitational. So we invited 7 teams whose I can try and name all of them in a second. We invited 7 teams, and there is 1 open seat that people will be competing for. for their chance to fill in the 8th slot, and you can register for that. We're doing everything with the guys from Far Cognitions. So you can go there and you can register as a team of 4, or if you want to register as a free agent, they are helping people put teams together as well.
That's great.
And the finals for that that open seat will be broadcast during the charity stream. So you'll be able to tune in and root for who you want Friday night, and then the next Saturday you'll see those people go up against some of the best Destiny teams.
That's awesome.
That'll be a lot of fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah, really fun.
So we have
really hope it goes well. We put a lot of time into it.
So God Squad, BSK, IAM, some of the some new names out there that I guess.
So yeah. If we're gonna talk about all the teams, IAM, BSK, and Tier 1 are are names that a lot of folks are familiar with.
Sure.
And then some other names that have been around for a while are Think Again and God Squad. God Squad's female counterpart team, which is I'm really excited that we have an all-female team represented in Goddess Squad. I think that's really fucking awesome. We have an ad hoc team of PvP folks that got put together by Dr. Lupo, and that is Team Casual. So they are they are a group of just really solid high tier PvP players that we unfortunately had more people decline for this event than we were expecting. Invigorate had to decline. Primal had to decline. So we were kind of looking for some other high tier players. And so a bunch of them got together when they were like, hey, can we be a team? And so that's how Team Casual happened. And then we have the 8th slot for that. Awesome. So the qualifier matches, if there's not a huge turnout, the whole set of qualifiers will be streamed during the charity stream Friday night. So that'll be the 23rd, the Friday before Guardian Con. But if we have a lot of people sign up, the FarCog guys are going to be doing qualifiers until we get to the top 16 or top 8, depending on what they feel is best for time.
Cool.
And then are you going to do a lead up week of charity streaming too?
Yes, that's So starting June 22nd and running until June 29th, we have the week-long charity stream just like last year. The reason I don't have the schedule out yet was we were really trying to reach out to some other bigger names on Twitch to see if they wanted to be involved. Unfortunately, none of them really had time in their schedule to be involved this year, which is fine. We put it on their radar for next year, and sometimes, like, I get it. That's what matters. You have to plan ahead. Otherwise, your community doesn't show up the way that you want them to. Mm-hmm. So, but this year we actually do have a lot of cool things. I am the charity director for Guardian Con, so all the charity stuff is my responsibility. So this year we're kind of having big prime time events every single day. So if you tune in between like 4 p.m. to midnight Eastern, you're going to have one really cool thing to watch every evening, which is cool. Something we didn't get to do last time. So like I said, the PvP tournament is for the open seats going to be one of those things. One of the outside of Destiny partners that we got to work with are the folks from Digital Extremes who make Warframe. Their dev team is going to be doing a 4-hour block for us.
That's cool.
Wow.
On Thursday night. So the two awesome ladies that do their dev streams are going to be streaming on the Guardian Con channel to raise some money for St. Jude. That'll be fun. We have a couple of mystery blocks that I can't announce yet because the people involved want to do their own little hat reveal. But another really cool thing that we're going to be doing is we have a dream team block with Rabby V and Mr. Fruit and Blue Westlow.
Who are those guys?
I don't know. Some YouTube scrubs. I believe I have them scheduled on the 26th, which is Wednesday, and they're going to be doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. And I did hear the words Blue Westlow face reveal donation incentive kicked around while we were recording.
Wow.
I'm not a big deal
to that for them, but I heard the words mentioned.
Wow.
So that in itself can be huge.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of really cool things happening every evening. We're also some other things that I'm still working out, but I haven't slotted yet. Prying Panda, who's done a lot of the Guardian 1v1 tournaments or the Guardian Showdown tournaments on Twitch. He's trying to set up a block of folks to do for one of the evenings, and it's gonna be a really good time. Much more. I mean, last year we planned it out pretty good, but this year we actually had time. I'm not getting married a month before the charity stream, so I have a little bit more time.
Well, we're obviously we've already committed one of our streams. It was a podcast showdown to raising money for St. Jude's and for Guardian Con. I think the total raised was $26,000. So
I don't know what each checks are.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So, but we were really excited to be a part of it. If you ever need any help, Broman, obviously you know where to find us.
Did you guys donate that directly to St. Jude?
Yeah, I believe we had the.
Did you snag our link?
Yeah,
from the webpage to do that?
Yes, we went through. Yes.
Why? Oh, that's great. No, I was just hoping that you did that, because if not, then I have to call the guys at St. Jude and be like, okay, so there was an event. And it was this time, and any donations that came in, please add it to our total.
We used. We did use. We went through you guys to set it up. Cool. So
okay, yeah, then it probably all went to the right place.
Yeah, it was on your channel, so
thankful. Yeah, I remember. I remembered after I asked all those questions.
Yeah,
where it was, because we've had a lot of people, and this is actually something I want to talk about, because and this is good for anyone who's listening. A lot of people have been doing their own events, but they haven't really let us know first, so it's been hard for us to track everything, or at least toss them our tracking link. But that's not going to be a problem much longer, because we are partnering, or St. Jude partnered with a company called Tiltify. And in some time inside of the next week, you're going to be able to go to stjude.tiltify.com/GuardianCon, and you'll be able to set up your own event right there, get your own link.
That's really
whatever.
Cool.
And you can be anyone. You don't have to be a streamer. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. You can set that up and do like a walk run with that, and tell everyone who's running with you to donate via your PayPal link.
That's smart. We've seen other major charities do that, and it's been wildly successful. That is a great idea.
So that's who I used during my thing for the Bungie bounty with Stacked Up. I used them.
So
that was a fantastic service.
A great software. We're going to be a very big partner with them, so that's why it's taken so long, because they're not just building out like a subsection of the site, they're making our own like fully fleshed out version of everything. And
that's great.
It's really cool. I'm really excited about using it for the charity stream, because we're going to be able to set up ridiculous donation incentives. And oh my God, and I'm so excited about this. We're going to be able to set up prizes for people who donate now. So we can do raffles. Like last year, we couldn't do anything like that because we just didn't have the logistics. But this year, St. Jude's backing us, and they have all this extra manpower and time. So we're going to be able to do stuff like, hey, if you donate $50 or more in a single donation, you get entered to win like a Razer gaming laptop that's worth like $3,000 or something.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna have.
But you secretly already sent that to me, so it wasn't really like.
I cannot confirm or deny that.
No, that's really awesome, Ben. Or Broman. So that's really, really cool, man. I think that one of my heart has always been in charity streaming. I've done a lot of it in Destiny Year 1. And it's great to see this community get behind it and how much it's matured. It's really gotten very matured.
I got started on Twitch. I mean, like when I mean started, I mean like the first thing I ever watched on Twitch was it was a charity marathon by the speedrunning community called Hurricane Sandy-thon, and it was to raise money for victims of Hurricane Sandy. And the first thing, for those of you curious, that I ever actually saw on Twitch was I Ate Your Pie doing a Paper Mario speedrun. And I watched it. There was like all 3 days, and I was glued to the screen, and I watched as all these gamers got together from a common community, and they raised, I think it was $48,000 for the victims of Hurricane Sandy. And I thought that was incredible. And that actually is what got me started streaming on Twitch. Was after that, I found out about the Games Done Quick events. And I said, okay, well, I don't know anything about speedrunning, but I'm going to learn how to speedrun something, goddammit, and I'm going to go play a video game on that stream and raise money for cancer research. And so I started streaming after that, and a year later, me and my brother and 2 of our close friends got to speedrun Borderlands there. I also got to do Surgeon Simulator, which was fun. And that's where I came from on Twitch. So my heart's there. And when I saw the opportunity that we had from the first Guardian Con, where we all had like all these people show up at a bar and accidentally, like 50 content creators came and it was nuts. And we were talking afterwards for the next year, and we were like, well, let's try and do this again, but make it organized. And we were all this planning. And I just had the impulse to say, why don't we do something for charity and associated with all this? Because we have the same sort of amazing community that the speedrunning community has, because a lot of people in the Destiny directory, everyone looks out for each other on Twitch. It's not an antagonistic place full of assholes that want to cut each other's throat out so they can get more views.
Screw you, Broman.
It's a place where everyone wants to work together. Yeah. And so we saw that opportunity, and I'm a huge believer that a lot of people want to do good. You just sort of have to present them with a platform that makes it easy for them to do that. Because, and I'm the first person to say it, I love to do nice things, but I'm fucking lazy. So I will say all day, oh yeah, I wish that I could help so-and-so do X, but I'm tired. And there really isn't an easier way to support anything than, I'm just going to watch some video games and I can click this link and like I can click this link and type, and then I helped cure cancer. So it's been an incredible, on the charity side of things. It was incredible last year. I expected us to raise $500,000 because I've been around charity side things on Twitch. Like I learned from the best. I learned from Mike Uyama and Rom Scout, who run the GDQ events, how to run an event. And I thought we could raise, I knew it was like possible for us to raise $500,000, but to watch it actually happen was it's mind blowing. Like to see everybody rally behind hashtag for the kids, which we can't use because that belongs to someone else, guys. So we have to figure something else. It's a copyrighted hashtag, which we didn't
copyright that.
It's owned by Extra Life, believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah, the Extra Life charity stream owns For the Kids. So we've been brainstorming another thing. But
how about the number 4, the kids?
What about kids?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could copyright a hashtag.
You can copyright and brand a hashtag as part of the identity of your trademark. Wow. That is something you can actually do. So we're working we're working on that.
Well, and you got to see recently what that money is going towards, didn't you?
Yes. Myself and 20 of the folks who participated in the charity stream out last year. I think it was 20. I didn't get a final head count. A lot of us from the charity stream last year got invited out to the St. Jude Play Live Summit to get a tour of their campus and find out what St. Jude does on a day-to-day basis. And it was I'm looking at the hashtags. It was absolutely incredible.
I would have bawled my eyes out.
I didn't cry until I got home.
That just all releases.
Yeah. I found out, and there's a lot of things. When we picked St. Jude last year, I picked them for 3 reasons. They were kind of a no bullshit charity, which means in my mind, like, people on the internet can't mock curing kids with cancer. Like, they're not going to take a side on that. They're going to say, oh yeah, let's help the kids. We don't want the kids to die from cancer. So they have solid messaging. They had awareness, and they had visibility. So, like, we didn't have to spend time educating them. And if anyone wanted to go out and find out about St. Jude, it took 2 seconds. So when we picked St. Jude, we didn't really know a lot about their core messaging and like how they run things there and what exactly they do. But the thing that they mentioned over and over and over again, and it's like impossible to believe, but it's true. No family ever gets a bill from St. Jude. The only things that you need to get your child admitted to St. Jude is you need the child has to be diagnosed with a form of cancer that they're researching. They have to have a doctor's recommendation, and they have to be below the age of 18. That's it. You could live in India, and if you get a doctor's recommendation and they accept you, within 4 days, they will fly you and any family members that want to come to the United States, put you in housing that they pay for, bring you food that they pay for, start medical treatment for you that they pay for, and take care of you, including making sure you continue your education. They will call your school, get your curriculum, and if you have to stay there for 3 years and you leave in 5th grade, you re-enter your life cancer-free in 8th grade. So you don't even lose connections with your friends.
That's incredible.
They have
That
prom
is so
there.
incredible.
They have
That's just
prom
giving
there.
me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Man.
They have prom for all of the kids that are in high school. They have prom, and when they do prom, they bring in some of the best dress designers from New York and Paris who design special dresses for all the ladies. And they bring in suit designers from New York to make suits for all the guys. They bring in makeup artists from Lancome to do everyone's makeup or hair.
Wow.
And that's one event. And that's prom. That's like one day, and they do all of that. And there's just no way to describe the attention to detail. Every single person there is just filled with relief, which in a medical situation, like, you just never see that. My family lived through so much medical crisis growing up. And the idea that there could be relief on my parents' face when they're walking around the hospital is impossible, because they're thinking about, like, what if I have to mortgage my house to keep my child alive? But that look doesn't exist there.
Wow.
And it's impressive to talk about this on a day, and I'm not going to get into politics, but there's a lot of families out there right now today that are wondering, that are worried, and I'm just going to end it at that.
Yeah.
But my family, my mom had breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy. She had a ovarian cancer, and she survived all of that through medical help that she got through Scripps Hospital in San Diego, which is a fabulous breast cancer research foundation down there. And the first $30,000 that I ever raised on Twitch was all donated to the hospital that helped my mom out.
That's
and you gotta look back at those moments, and as a person, and take stock of what you do, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what this is about. Like, we all play and do a hobby or a career or whatever you want to call it, depending on who you are, in something that is meaningless, other than, we're not saving the actual galaxy, Yeah.
We're just having fun.
We're having fun. And in a way, this connects to something real, and it makes it so special. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to be a part of that bigger thing, and to galvanize us in the work that you're doing. I'm excited to be a part of it, and obviously, the 5 of us are connected to whatever you're doing. So let's get this shit done and figure out how we can make it happen.
Yeah.
I think
So-
Chad is settled on For the Little Lights.
For the Little Lights is not bad.
Not bad.
It's not bad. I wouldn't be angry. I would not be angry if that was our hashtag. A couple more things that I really just want to use to, like, kind of put perspective on everything from the financial side, because that's what we're going to be doing, is we're going to be raising money. It costs $1 billion a year to fund St. Jude with all the stuff that they do. It costs $1 billion a year, which is a ridiculous amount of money. It breaks down, according to them, based off of, like, the tiny things, to about $1.4 million a day, which is, again, still like a mind-crushing number.
Yeah.
But the most here's the thing that I took away from a fundraising side of things, and I think this is a number that's accessible to everyone. All of that means that you can fund the entire operation of St. Jude for $28 for 1 second. That's it. So you can literally, if you have $28 in your pocket, you can run that hospital for 1 full second, which I know seems absurd, but as somebody who, and all of us as gamers who enjoy a MMO-esque game, understand that a whole lot of incremental growth results in huge gains over time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so I to all the people who are listening now, or all the people who are listening and might be tuning into the charity stream or to the actual event where we will still be taking donations, and that money goes straight to St. Jude. There's no intermediary. If you can save up $28 between right now and July 1st,
$1 a day,
you will be able to help run that hospital. So I think that this year our goal is to raise $1 million. Like I said, next year my goal, I would love for all of us to run that hospital for a day. So that's $2.4 million, which seems ridiculous. But we have a lot of initiatives. I have a lot of initiatives that we're going to be working on directly with Twitch and with St. Jude, that's going to take that ridiculous number and make it seem a lot more possible. So for all of you that are listening, I guess my final point on all this is there's a lot of really horrible press going around all the time about people who enjoy video games. And this is an opportunity for you as a gamer to be able to point to something that you are personally involved in and say,
I did that.
Yeah, I play video games, but I did this. This is my thing. I did this because I care about this. And it doesn't just elevate the Destiny community or you as an individual. It helps elevate everyone who's a gamer when we can all point to things that we do together and say, look, we got together and we funded this hospital for a day, or we got together and we helped kids buy some new playground equipment or something like that. Because this is unfortunately right now socially, video games still end up being the butt of everyone's joke. If something bad goes wrong, it was probably because the guy played video games. It comes up all the time. So the stronger we can make the message behind Guardian Con, gamers are doing good, here's what we've done, the better it's going to make things for everyone. And the more we can take the thing that we love and that's our hobby and put it into a space where it's not just maybe socially acceptable anymore, but it's something that can be smiled upon, like, people who read books. Dirty books.
and that really matters, Broman. I mean, I the first year I bought a clean cart for for Seattle Children's Hospital, and I felt like it was for the dialysis machine, the dialysis room. It was a clean cart that allowed 2 kids sitting in the rooms there that are separated by glass to play video games together on a cart that would be wheeled in, and they had a screen and they could sit there while they were on dialysis and play video games and not feel so alone, feel like they were connected in that way. And
oh my God. We, one of the things we did at the Play Live event was we got the chance to play Super Smash Brothers with the patients.
Yeah.
And I to watch the transformation in the span of 5 minutes for any of these patients, that to go from being a kid that's sick and maybe they just got out of treatment or therapy or whatever, to go from being a patient to just being a kid inside of 20 seconds, which was neck breaking for me. I sat, there's a picture that I posted on my Twitter of me with another patient. Her name was Cadence, and she was just talking shit on me the whole time about how she kicked my ass in Smash Brothers. And, you know, here I am as an adult, like with the adult, oh, like, well, should I go easy on her in the back of my head? And then I'm like morally judging myself, like, how dare you treat her differently just because she's sick. And then so I was having this whole fight in my head. So I was like, all right, I decided to play as hard as I could. And she beat my ass. Whipped my ass. It was ridiculous. But you know, she was hanging out. She was just a normal kid, and she was having a good time. And every kid's parents there were just, all the kids were obsessed. Wait, you do what? What's your job? And then the parents were just like, no. But there was a whole, the other cool thing was one of the families that was there. The whole family played World of Warcraft together. And they were like the mom, the two sons, the daughter, they all played together, and they found out that like one of the other broadcasters played WoW, and they were literally just talking to them the whole time, like bitching about balance changes and also all of this like incredibly normal shit.
Yeah,
right.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's all about. Exactly.
They just want to be a normal kid for 5 minutes.
That is the power of what St. Jude does, is they can bring full families in there, and they do everything in their power to make it like your life didn't stop. I guess that's their big point, is that they don't want you to feel like you have to put your life on pause because you got a catastrophic diagnosis.
That's what I love about them so much, is that they're making kids just have their normal life. You know, it's not a focus on you're sick and you're getting treatment. Your family's here, and it's like a home. And I love that about St. Jude. It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I completely agree. They also, this was asked in chat, and I wanted to get back to it. They do treat other catastrophic diseases. They have a very advanced bone marrow transplant. I can't remember if it's like a wing or a hall or something for people who are dealing with sickle cell. So that's they are constantly working on improving children's health over time.
That's awesome.
There's so much to share, but
so awesome.
The last thing, I swear to God, it's the last fucking thing. I swear to God.
Yeah, you fucking talk about this all you want, man. I'm not stopping you.
When St. Jude was founded, it was actually considered a social taboo and morally incorrect to treat children with cancer for cancer. The morally correct thing for you to do as a physician, if you discovered a cancer diagnosis in one of your patients, was to just say, your child has cancer. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. And you let the child die in peace, because that was what was considered the right thing to do. So when Danny Thomas decided to fund a research hospital for children, he wasn't just starting this hospital and it was like, oh, cool, another hospital. He was literally like sociologically, culturally, morally going against everything that the people in his time believed. And he went around to all of his celebrity friends, like Elvis Presley is one of the original founders, wrote one of the biggest checks to St. Jude to get it started.
Oh, wow.
And so the childhood cancer survival rate when they started overall in the United States was 20%. And for the type of cancer that they were treating specifically, and they worked on the most, which was lymphoma, the survival rate was 4%. The overall cancer rate since the founding of St. Jude and all the research that they've done and published, now the survival rate overall is 80%, up from 20.
Wow.
And the survival rate for lymphoma is 94%.
Wow.
Up from 4%.
Wow.
In about 60 years.
It's remarkable.
70 years.
That's crazy.
So
let's make it 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. Is that everyone there like refuses to stop until every child that comes in leaves without cancer.
That's great. Wow.
So that is the charity that we are supporting at Guardian Con and as Guardians. And I think that all of us should be incredibly proud of the time and effort that we all put in to make this work. Whether you put in the time and effort at your job and donate $10, or you're a streamer that's involved, or YouTuber that's involved, or you're coming to the event, you are part of that. And you're part of making that happen. So thank you.
It's great.
And a lot of these people that are watching right now are part of the community. They watch your stream. They watch Tefty's stream, Watts, Breyer, Patrick. They watch me. No, they don't watch me. So I think I'm the only one in the room without a stream. And they want to know how they can be involved and just stay in touch with us. And with Broman and Guardian Con and any of us here, we connect everybody to what's going on. And I think that ultimately when it comes down to it, it's the same thing that happened just recently when I saw Ogre 2 started playing Destiny, right? Mm-hmm. You guys remember Ogre 2 from Halo? Yep. Halo 2, famous, probably one of my heroes from the Halo PvP community. He was a badass. He still is, but was a badass. Him, Strong Side, Walshy, Ogre 1. These guys epitomize my view of PvP. And he joins this community just to play Destiny for the shits and giggles and can't stop playing it. And he's telling the people on stream because of the support and love of the chat and how non-toxic it is. He's coming from Halo and he's like, I'm streaming this game and I want to play it because it's fun and everybody in chat's like supporting me and I'm having fun and I'm having fun. And it's
it makes
just
a huge difference.
I don't know.
Oh,
and I feel like somebody's experience like that's not, and I'm not dogging on Halo. I'm just saying Halo's been long in the tooth and there's a lot of entrenched views there. But, coming over here as we grow, we're going to get a PC build, right?
Yeah. PC.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Brand new
We
game.
get to see it. We get to see it May 18th.
Oh
May
my
18th,
God, May 18th.
So excited.
And we get to find out what the PC. We got a whole new people. We got everybody in the community is going to tons of people are going to be joining us. What are you guys most excited about for May 18th? What do you want to see? What do we want to see?
All of you there, because this is the first time that everyone from Destiny Community Podcast is actually going to be in one
place.
room.
That's awesome.
Crazy,
in
right?
one
In
room.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Only took 3 years.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what it looks like on PC. I can't wait to see
Ultra
the
settings.
user interface for it. Like, I can't wait to see how things have changed. Like, what does the pause screen look like? What does gear look like? Like, how is equipment set up? Because for me, Bungie has already nailed game feel. Like, the game could play the exact same way as Destiny 1 and I wouldn't have a single thing that I would complain about, because the gameplay it's quick, it's engaging, the movement feels right, everything feels like it's the right speed. So like, to me, what really matters is all that under the hood stuff.
Yeah.
How do I build out my Guardian? How do I become stronger? What abilities are at my disposal? Like, how deep is my skill chart? That's the kind of stuff I want to see. I don't know if we're going to be able to. I doubt we're going to show all that shit off. But I think that we'll be able to see enough that we'll know like where the fundamental changes happened at.
Yeah.
And
What did they show us? Let's think back. What did they show us for the first, like the alpha, the let's go back to the Destiny 1 alpha.
way back.
Way back.
The 2014 when it first got showed. And
The alpha had everything, right? It had
The alpha had
inventory management. It
one
had the tower.
subclass of each.
So we may see all that
class.
stuff, Ben.
Yeah, I know.
Here's my perspective on it. This is a huge event. They're flying people out. People are attending. They've got Activision involved. Yeah. It's a planned enormous event to reveal the gameplay. A lot of press. It's all the invitations are, like I said, it's all far-reaching invitations for this from all kinds of sources. And I would be very surprised if we just showed up, saw a keynote, and then played 5 minutes of the game. I don't expect that because it is too big of an event. I think they're really going to dig in and be like, this is why the future of Destiny is exciting. This is why you love this game so much, and here's how we've iterated on it. And you know what I mean?
How do they do that? Tefty? Like, let's peel out what our expectations are to do.
Okay.
I agree with you. I agree with you that that's what they should be doing. But what do they need to hit to do that?
For me, it comes down to adjusting the sandbox in a way that not only am I excited about, but also didn't expect. Like I'm looking to walk away and being like, wow, I can't believe they did that. I didn't even think about that. Because
that's a very good point.
Yeah, we've rehashed the game in so many different ways and fashions and so on and so forth.
Oh god.
You know what I mean? Like the number of discussions that we have on Twitch and in the podcast and all that, like it's endless. So I want to walk away being like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that to Destiny 2. And I cannot wait.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yes.
And I cannot wait to get in and like grab it and just gobble it up, you know? So I think if they do enough sandbox changes, then I think it's possible that they could have a lot of stuff that they want to show us, that like the world has changed. The mechanics have changed. It's still Destiny. It feels fantastic. But now there's all these variables in there that you didn't even imagine before.
That's a really good point. And I'll be really excited to see stuff that, like you said, I never even thought that this would be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see. I'm hoping they show us some new subclasses and what that could entail. I hope they go crazy with that, because now we're in a place with no light. Light no longer exists.
Light.
So what the hell are our classes going to be? What are we going to be using?
Okay, all right, wait. It just hit me. I gotta bring this up. Hold on a second. Deej tweeted something out. I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat, and I'm gonna just. Okay. It's just. I have to. Wait. He said it. All right. He said something about the F5, right?
Yeah.
Here.
Where are we going with this?
All right,
Pope?
go ahead with this. I'll find it. Give me a second.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess for me, subclasses. Seeing that is going to be really interesting, because if we are in a world with no light, and our light is what gives us all of these powers, then what the hell are we going to be using?
Absolutely.
That's really interesting, because they could go crazy with that. They could take that wherever they want to take
I do want to point out that on like the collector's edition, on like the little product description, there was a character called Hawthorne that they talked about.
There was.
The bag is a Hawthorne. The event's also being held in Hawthorne.
Maybe we meet Hawthorne.
Yo.
In person.
Yeah.
She's on
with her bag.
Yeah, she's on stage.
With her bag. Whoa! Now I have to have it.
Right, now everyone wants the bag. They saw Hawthorne with the bag, now everyone wants the bag.
one of the things that sort of intrigues me about Hawthorne and everything that's included in the deluxe edition is a lot of the things that they describe, like the bag and the things that come with it, like a solar charger, if I'm not wrong. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that you're kind of like, what? But if you think about things game mechanics wise, if there's like a survival or building aspect of the game, since we are outside of the tower and we no longer have all of that protection, which means we have to start doing things ourselves because we don't have Sweeperbot to clean up our shit anymore. It means we have to clean up our own shit, which means we probably don't have all the fabrication stuff. So like, what if mechanically the game is fundamentally changed because we're not even in the tower anymore, when we have to do things like maintain the durability of our equipment, or
maintain your sparrow,
build our own guns out of random shit that we find in the
right. We're not being babied anymore.
Yes.
We have to do it for ourselves. Yeah,
exactly. No wonder these Guardians could kill a god. They had fucking everything. It's ridiculous.
It comes with the solar charging thing, because that's the new game mechanic. It's basically like Thief,
you
where
stand in the sun.
In Thief, you want to stand in the darkness. Now we have to stand in the sun,
guys.
It's like that game for the Game Boy where you had to physically go outside to power up your character with a little thing on, and it didn't work on anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna have an app for our phone where we have to go out into the sun and power up our Guardians so we can get our classes.
Yeah,
dig it. Can't stand the shadow. Can't hide.
I just think that the main thrust of my questions are going to be around how we get our powers, and I think that it just feels like. It feels like the answer is right there. And as soon as we see it, we're just going to be like, I thought that something that Deej...
Yeah, I don't even want to... I don't care about how we get it. I'm more concerned about what they are, and I'm ready for how we do stuff when we actually get the game and get the story.
See,
right? I don't want any story now. I'm okay with seeing a subclass, but I don't want story until I'm actually playing the game in September.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to see story stuff. I want that to be a mystery. I want the mystery to be there. I want to jump in the game and be like, oh, this is what's
I mean,
happening.
how much of a mystery is there going to be? I mean, we definitely know that the
Cabal.
the prologue. We know the prologue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I guess, like, I don't know, man.
Like, for me personally, am okay if I see the first story mission. I'm okay with that because something else I want to see is if they've
Cutscenes as well.
Yeah, cutscene. Well,
Or because they said
no,
there's going to
I
be
don't
a
wanna
ton
see
of cutscenes.
well, if there's a ton
That's
of
So what if
cutscenes,
it's like?
like here's how
it's
I look at
crazy.
it. I look at it
As
as
long
like
as the story's in the game, I'm cool.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
all I really care
in the
about.
game, and I also want the actual story to maybe be, say, 15, maybe even 20 hours of like a campaign.
great.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Like you legit
What if,
feel like you
what
go
if the
through.
campaign was like 80% of the story, and then there's a little bit of story in a raid and a little bit of story in a quest that you got, a month later, and like the story just kept giving. It wasn't just you run the story when you first get the game for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, but the story kept popping up like wherever.
that'd be great.
I would love it.
to
whatever
have
you were doing.
things brought into like the raids, for example, and
Yeah.
even PvP maps, like some story behind why all of this stuff is happening and why
Oh, you just completed every strike in the game? Oh, here's a little cutscene,
I mean, like World of Warcraft's story unfolded over a long time because you had to level up before you could go to the next area. So you might be fully engaged in the story, but you try and go to the next area, and the game's like, "Hey, buddy." Eat a dick, and then kills you, and you have to go back and you have to level and learn more about the world. That's one of the things that they did in World of Warcraft so well, is that you got engaged with the world because you were actually forced to spend time in it. And I think that one of the things that happened later in Destiny's life cycle is that we were no longer forced, air quotes, to spend time in the game in order to progress.
like
and
on
so
Patrol
when
collecting
you're-
spin metal.
Yeah,
and stuff
like in
that.
Patrol
Yeah.
collecting spin metal or things
Mhm.
like that. You no longer feel engaged in the
Right.
world when you don't have to spend time in it.
Cool.
So I really hope that there are a lot of things that force us to spend time in the game.
I'd love to see those patrol areas. I'd love to see patrol areas return as a concept, but to see them really expanded,
Massive.
like
10 times
much bigger.
Brian, let's bring up a question and expand on it then.
Wait.
What don't we want to see change?
I don't
Oh,
want to
that's
answer that
interesting.
question, Pope, because I don't know anything about what's in Destiny 2. So, like, it's a speculation in that direction. Like, I feel like it's almost like there's no way to
Why-
do it.
That is a
What-
little difficult,
what-
honestly.
Well,
Because like
no, I
obviously you don't want
I
it to move away from being a first-person shooter. Like you don't want that.
Alright,
to
I want the
change.
So-
gunplay to remain
Yeah.
good.
Right. So Broman
Yeah.
suggested a couple things like the gameplay mechanics shouldn't change too much. But for example, let's flesh that out a little bit. Does that mean Broman wants things like the Titan chest, the God damn it, my brain.
Twilight Garrison.
Titan.
Twilight Garrison.
Yes.
Does Broman want things like Twilight Garrison in the game? Does he want Titan skating in the game? Does he want the Bones of Ao? I mean, are these types of mechanics that should stay? Right? Even though there is a certain feel to the game that we really enjoy, there are things that have been brought up. I mean, should sticky nags operate the way they do?
I will preface my answer with this. My dad always taught me not to critique something if I didn't have a suggestion on how to fix it. But I'm going to break that rule. So, like, I think that
Solid.
well, because I'm not a game designer, but I do know as a consumer there are certain things that like that definitely bugged me. And one of the things that bugged me about all exotics throughout the entire Destiny universe was that in an incomparable way, some of them were always more powerful and special than others. Like the ability to move your ass in the air with the Twilight Garrison or blind people with your bubble with a Saint 14 are scores better and more powerful than the Dune Marchers letting you run fast. Like that's so there were even among the exotic weapons, which are supposed to be the highest tiered weapons in the game across all classes and across all weapons, there were still some that were favored because of how much they fundamentally changed the game. So if there's one thing that I would like to see change, it would be I would like to see all exotics feel like they're on the same tier.
Yeah.
Like if exotics are going to change movement mechanics, every exotic should change movement mechanics.
Right.
If exotic weapons are going to regenerate ammo, every exotic weapon should regenerate ammo. Like there are some things that like on a fundamental level change the game too much, and that makes it the preferred choice. And so like, yeah, like every weapon regenerating ammo, you'd be like, fuck that. Like that's stupid. But that's why people got mad at the icebreaker during its heyday, and they got mad at the invective, because if you weren't using those things in PvP, why are you handicapping yourself?
Okay.
Because one perk was too strong.
So that highlights something that I also don't want to see in Destiny 2, is that we need to adjust those things strictly because PvP is a problem. You know, like
I want okay.
I don't even think it's fair to talk about PvP when you're talking about Destiny 2, because we're looking at a brand new game with 3 years of history of Bungie looking at the PvP situation they have now and building a brand new game. Like I don't even think it's
here's
fair.
what bothers me, Briar, is that they've finally figured out. I mean, I feel like the game
Have they?
Maybe they haven't.
there's a lot.
Broman's got to talk. He's
Broman's
gonna
gotta talk.
I don't want the sandbox for PvP and the sandbox for PvE to be the same sandbox.
Jesus Christ,
fixes,
this guy's a genius.
that fixes
I want that. Thank you very much.
that fixes so many problems, because one of the issues with exotics is if you make them super fucking awesome in PvE, you take that and put it in a PvP environment, and then you're one-shotting everybody.
Your balance is messed
with
up.
the Vex Mythoclast in the first week of Destiny. Like, but so when they nerfed that, like they took away what made that weapon special. And so I think that it's almost a necessity to deviate
They have to.
weapon and armor tiers
Completely
in
agree.
both directions. So that they can both, like, you can still cross compete, right? But if I bring in my raid gear to a PvP environment, I should be performing suboptimally in that environment.
Yeah.
And in the same way, if I bring in my Trials of Osiris fully ornamented gear set into a raid, I should be performing suboptimally in that raid.
It shouldn't be the best gun for a raid. Right?
Yeah, so
Like,
there's
gun you got out of Trials. No way.
Yeah, so you need to differentiate those things enough, whether it's with power scaling, light restriction inside of activities. There's a whole lot of ways mechanically that they could separate these two
perk
things.
restrictions for PvE versus
Perk
PvP.
restrictions,
For sure.
exactly. There are a lot of ways that they could separate these things inside of the two sandboxes that would allow two great things to happen. One, it would really, really force you to explore both sides of the game if you really wanted to fully experience what being as powerful as possible could be. And two, it would really, really foster a truly competitive PvP community, because they could screw with that sandbox and what's in it exclusively without touching or ruining anything on the other side of the table.
Yes.
And
The problem they have with that, though, is that like they want a sniper rifle to feel the same, like the fire rate,
That's-
the
yeah,
recoil,
I definitely-
like that, all that stuff. And I kind of agree with them on that philosophy. Yeah, I'm down with the perks not working in PvP or not working in PvE. I'm down with like all the rest of the stuff, but I still want, if I get an auto rifle, I want the act of aiming and holding down that trigger to feel the same in PvP and PvE.
Okay, I got something to say about this then, because right now the end game hunt has reduced itself into getting the absolute best archetype for a weapon with the absolute best rolls to make it feel the most stable and potential.
It's like two weapons.
Essentially, the most stable version of the archetype with potential damage enhancers. And if you look at Borderlands Endgame is fun because you want to hunt weapons that are essentially game breaking at times. And for PvE, I want the sandbox to support the ability to have these weapons feel different. I've said this in the past. I want arc damage to feel like you're shooting electricity. I want solar to feel like you're shooting fire. Void to feel like you're shooting gravity bullets and stuff like that. I don't want it to just color the bullet and just be a shot. Like that is boring to me. You know,
it's like every arc weapon should be like Zalo, right? Where it's zipping and it's zapping.
It's arcing off.
Yeah, and in PvP, you hunt for the best, most balanced weapon a la the DMR or the battle rifle, because
maybe some of the best PvE stuff isn't hit scan, right? And that just generally makes it worse for PvP, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's the sandbox though. The sandbox just doesn't support what I'm talking about with those type of bullets. You know?
Yeah, I think that it's definitely possible to keep gun feel the same while fundamentally altering the two sandboxes. Like the gun could be like the gun could be the same, but they could say, listen, this gun, if we were to non-temper it out of the PvE section of the game, it would one-shot people in PvP. So like the damage scaling modifier, which I don't know how it works in the game right now, but I assume it's like a simple straight graph that pulls power across. They change that a little bit and say, okay, you have a sniper of this power in PvE, so we have to modify it down X. Even though it should one-shot somebody, it's not going to. It's going to act like a basic sniper.
But don't you think that there are already hints that they're moving in that direction, that's a lesson learned? I feel like we're seeing
What hints?
Hints. I see hints.
Tell me more.
I want to know these hints.
These hints are the fact that these perks are, the more and more we got towards the end of Destiny 1's life cycle, I feel like we're getting more and more efficient uses of perks that say, against
minions of darkness.
Minions of the darkness, right?
Yeah.
And that addition to that script in the power component of the guns, I think, is what they were capable of doing in Destiny 1, but
and so many of the problem weapons still come out of year 1, right? Like so many of them still come out of year 1.
But I think we're seeing that progression mark a whole new shift that I'm hoping happens in Destiny 2, which is exactly what Broman was talking about, and I think we've been preaching since the beginning. And what I'm most hopeful for is an acknowledgement of, I want to be a badass space magic, guardian in PvE, but I think that PvP should be much more balance.
You know what I'm really looking forward to the most, to be honest with you, is to stop speculating on what all these changes are going to be,
right?
And actually get the game in my hands.
You're just gonna get that.
Dude,
I can't wait till after the beta we actually have the physical game, and we're like, we can just go crazy and we can explore. And
absolutely,
I can't wait.
As someone who has streamed this game every single day almost since the beta on Twitch, and I have lived a life of speculation. For every fucking DLC, for every fucking time somebody's like, oh my God, I think I found this fucking secret. And if you go in this cave and you lick this rock, a fucking wall pops up and then it's a new raid. Like, I remember clearing Atheon and being told that we had to wait till next week because there were more bosses after Atheon. I don't know if you guys remember that conversation.
I remember
like,
that.
We were the 7th team in the world to clear it, and people were like, fucking wait, there's more. You're not done yet. You didn't get world first. No one did. Like, and there was so much speculation. So like those few moments, there's the few moments in your in anyone's gaming experience where you get to live a life free of speculation.
Yeah.
And so like the moments when we get Destiny and for 2 weeks we're all just learning instead of speculating, it's gonna feel so good.
Yes.
It's gonna be so
so good.
One thing I'm really hoping that they do, Tefty, you kind of talked about it, about the elements, but right now there's a Magic the Gathering offshoot. Each of the colors in Magic the Gathering have their own kind of emotions, their own character associated with them. Like red is very quick to act, hasty, based on emotion. Black is very selfish. White, very prideful. There's all these colors and emotions and everything associated with them. We don't really have that with the elements right now in Destiny.
True.
We have a couple mechanics that kind of carry over, like Arc. You get some like electric stuff, and Void generally has some sort of like some type of group appeal to it, and like Solar occasionally burns stuff. But those are like mechanics. There's no actual, I guess, personality, character, emotions, kind of tied to those. And if I feel like if they built more upon those, not only would the subclasses feel a little bit more diverse for the most part. But we could actually see some really cool stuff come out from the development side in terms of exotics and things like that.
Right.
Totally.
You could design exotics around the emotions of this particular element.
Would love that.
And that's kind of what I want to see in general with classes. I want them to get really specific. Like, you are a hunter because you like this specific play style. This is you. That's you. And they could take that with the subclasses.
And backstabbing your teammates.
But they could do that with the subclasses, right? They could take it even further, like with what Holtz was saying, where they have a personality. So you're like, I choose Void because that's really how I like to play this game. That embodies me as a player.
Yeah, each element has like kind of its own identity, and so
that would be amazing.
Gravitate towards that.
I mean, it'd be really nice. It'd be really nice if the Titan.
It's Voidburn this week. Yeah, that's I totally agree. I think that was. I think that some of the things I'm hoping for are things that I really like. They were my biggest critiques from Destiny when it first launched. Like, they were the initial things that I was like, I don't like this. And like, you've already brought up like weapons that have elements that you're like, whoop-de shit. Like 90% of the time, this means jackass. It means nothing to me. And then the fact that, and I guess like every character in Destiny, and this is part of the appeal, but also it's like a critique that I have. You feel like a person with a gun that occasionally exhibits differences from the other people who have guns. So like, whether you're a Warlock, Hunter, or Titan, for the first 2 years I played Destiny, people would tune into the channel and they would say, which class is he playing as? Because it's not obvious. And I think that's a huge design misstep. Like, if you're watching somebody play any other game, you can take 2 seconds to look at their screen, and if you're knowledgeable about that game, you can know like, oh, that guy's an arms warrior. Oh, that guy's like like whatever. Like, like whether someone's a magic user, or whether or not they're speed build, or like whatever. And in Destiny, you don't know any of that shit until you bring up their like Bungie.net page. And I would love to see things more visually apparent, which ties back into your like, make the elements feel like something. Like, I should be able to look at my screen when I'm playing a Sunbreaker, and you should be able to know I'm a Sunbreaker just from my HUD. I really do hope that they in some way make that a reality in the next
to build
game.
On that as well. And I was going to mention this is, when you're a Titan, I want it to be an actual Titan with more health and feel like you're going to tank things in PvE. I don't know about PvP. I think PvP should be kind of how it is right now, brought to the core elements. But in PvE, like, a Titan should feel like a Titan. It should be, a huge health pool and all that. And a Hunter should definitely be more
in the back DPS.
Super quick and tissue paper.
Super quick almost like a glass cannon. That makes sense to me. And I hope they go down that path, honestly.
I hope they do. It's all about building our fantasy as players. And the more that they can give us to make us live that fantasy and be like, I have this identity because that's the way I love to play the game. That's the way that I love to interact with this game, the better. So they should just go as crazy as they possibly can with building our fantasies.
So let me ask you guys, are we discussing a PvP type, or a PV, like on the PvP side of this, are we discussing a shift towards Overwatch in the way that they do things?
What do you mean?
Where classes need to work together in specific ways to be successful?
That's more of a that'd be cool. That's more of a game type mechanic, I think, because that's more of like the game that you are playing, not the characters that you're playing, or the game mode that you're playing, not the characters that you're playing.
No, so what I'm thinking is, like, when I picture a Titan and a defender Titan, I picture a Vanguard type, a Paladin. I picture a Knight. I picture a person that's taking the hits, and it's up front, that's maybe directing some of the aggro towards them. You played WoW,
Reinhardt.
Patrick. I mean, come on. This isn't a foreign concept, right? Do we want to see Destiny move
WoW?
that?
I can't remember.
No, I don't think so. You're mistaken.
I mean, honestly, I think, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I apologize to everybody ahead of time, but I think that Destiny could use to take some lessons from WoW and make the classes more specific.
I will say this. There is still people to this day that think hunters have less health than titans.
Yeah.
Technically.
No, they don't. Shut
There
up.
is still people to this day who'll be in PvE and be like, man, I'm just so flimsy as a hunter. And it's just not the case, guys. You have the exact same amount of health. Your armor stats adjusted slightly, but not to
Patrick,
a point that's
as
like...
a Titan, I'm wearing plate glass. I'm wearing plate metal and like heavy armor, right? And I go into a melee fight with a person wearing a cloth dress, and I lose that fight. It's not right.
I have a knife to stick in between your ribs. Of course I'm going to win that fight. You have fists.
No, actually, no. You don't. You never win that fight with your knife.
You should not win
your
that
flimsy
fight.
knife. Your flimsy rubber knife.
You should bounce off of my chest plate armor.
So armor and recovery do affect those stats, guys. Yes, but fundamentally, they are extremely close. And
the only time
you know what it
matters
is in
when you're max
PvE,
armor.
Tefty, is the recovery time.
Yeah.
Is that what you feel like you're squishier because you're not recovering your health back as fast. So the damage kind of, it's more cumulative on a hunter. It feels like to me.
I play all three classes, and it's the same. Like they
get their health back.
The feel to me is the same.
I think the fact that we can even have this argument is an illustration of there not being enough differentiation.
Exactly.
There needs to be more.
Ultimately,
more.
the fact that we're all like, there's 1%.
There's a minor discrepancy in there. It's like, well,
You would
it's a
never
minor
have this
discrepancy.
discussion in Final Fantasy 14 and be like, I don't know, man. I really feel like that summoner has as much health as our warrior. Yeah. Like you'd be like, no, like that would never, ever, ever fucking happen.
Do we need to move the game in that direction? Is that? I mean,
I think that one of the things about Destiny and like you can notice it when you look into like the minutia, but like there's a lot of stuff that they did for the first time, like trying to orient a true MMO feel across 3 separate characters without breaking convention so much as that it doesn't feel like an FPS anymore.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like as a problem solver, this is a fantastic like first attempt.
Yeah.
Like things feel samey, but like what if they had tried to make them so drastically different and it ended up being like, well, okay, well anyone who's not playing as a blade dancer is actually playing as a shit class. Like because they differentiated it that much. So I feel like this is a good starting point, and they're going to take all 3 years of what they learned about how can we differentiate these things without breaking convention, and how can we make this different and more specialized maybe. And we're going to see all of that in Destiny 2. I hope.
Oh
so
man,
I'm gonna throw something your guys' way.
Yeah, I can't either.
I can't wait either. What if the skill trees were split with PvE and PvP? So you had a very broad and branched out PvE skill tree, but then when it comes to PvE, PvP, so PvE broadens, branch out, PvP, they narrow it down and have it more focused. So we don't have crazy things happening, them having to just break things apart.
Well, I'd be fine with that. It's just the same thing with separating PvE from PvP, because if you have something that's connected with both, when it comes to actually balancing classes, that's going to be a problem because you're going to break it in PvE, for example. So I think that the more they separate PvE and PvP, the better it will be in terms of balancing. But they do have to make it feel familiar. The class still has to feel familiar.
But
I think
it's got to be the same
for
super.
people who aren't necessarily going to play it for 3 years, right? Is
true.
You know, if you take take the stickiness out of grenades, if you take the tracking out of grenades, that grenades becomes less fun for a new player, right? Because it's harder to use and it's more frustrating. If you take the supers away, like if they don't work in PvP, PvP is suddenly less fun for a new player. Because they're going to see less success because they're just getting shot in the face by better players all the time. All of the stuff that reduces the skill gap is there to help newer players or less experienced players enjoy the game.
Right.
You know what
And
fix a
not
lot of
get
that? You know what would fix a lot of that? Just ranked PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love ranked casual. Then like even if you're casual should just be like you play whoever, it's whatever, it's all fun and silly.
Yeah.
And then ranked is like, whether you're a new player and you're not very good, but you want to play against people of your caliber, you go to ranked, or whether you're a high skill player who wants that competitive environment, you can go there as well.
And that's where you start narrowing down the subclasses and the weapons and like here's what's actually allowed in ranked.
Yeah.
I think that there are like really clear ways in game design that you can wall off certain experiences until folks are of a certain skill level without making that person feel like they're getting shit on. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, let's say you want to get raid ready. One of the things that never happened in Destiny is there was never attunement for any of the raids. And this might be a new word for some people, but basically attunement means you go out into the world, you have to do specific tasks, and after those are done, you cobble together some sort of key to attune yourself to the raid, and then you can do the raid. So if there was attunement in Destiny, you would have to, let's say you want to do Vault of Glass next week, you'd have to go do 3 separate strikes that maybe each contain one of the mechanics that you're going to have to execute in tandem in the raid. And so until you have learned this is how portals work, this is how platforms work, and this is how cleansing works, you can't even enter the raid without understanding
the raid tutorials.
You can't understand those until you understand those 3 mechanics. You can't enter the raid.
That would be amazing.
And maybe you only make people attune once a month, so it doesn't become like laborious.
Yeah.
Or after you've cleared it X amount of times, you're permanently attuned to the raid. But that is a way that you can wall off casual players without them feeling like they're getting screwed, because there are really huge skill gap leaps in Destiny. Like you have casual PvP, Iron Banner, a little less casual, and fuck you, Trials of Osiris. Like it's a huge jump. And even in PvE, it's patrols, let's screw around. Then it's patrols, let's screw around. Then it's strikes, which is story mode patrols, and then it's strikes, which like maybe there are some mechanics in there. And then by the way, solve this fucking puzzle like in the middle of a fight. Like so they're the big jumps, I think, gameplay wise in the skill and intellectual capacity required to sort of adapt to those tasks. Those are daunting steps. So breaking the steps down a little bit more from a game design standpoint, I think would benefit the whole community a lot better, because then you're not telling the new players to screw off. Mm-hmm. You're telling the new players, these are the things that you have to do before you can do the big scary thing. Yeah. And it also adds value to the raid, because you know that even to get there, you have to do more than just load up something on your director. Yeah. That would be amazing.
You know what else is amazing? You know what else is amazing? Because I have to do this at least one time per podcast, and we're like an hour and 30 in here. These wild mics and headphones. Because no doubt you've noticed them. There's some of the iconic gear that Blue creates. Blue's award-winning products are the driving force behind professional musicians, internet creators, and countless elite gaming teams and Twitch streamers. Their Yeti USB mic is the internet's most popular microphone, and their MoFi and Lola headphones, actually their Sadie and Lola headphones, I still need to change this ad copy, deliver insane sound and a very personalized fit. Blue offers everything you need to completely immerse yourself in the ultimate gameplay experience. Learn more about Blue at bluemic.com.
They're launching their new Bluetooth noise canceling headphones now too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Give me a pair of those.
I gotta say that that attunement process would be amazing, because as somebody who helps a lot of people through raids as well, just knowing that if you got to do the attunement process first, and if you've done that, then you have the basic mechanics down.
The thing is, and I'm enough of a student of game design that and kind of learning about that is people who play a lot of games and review a lot of games can tell you that if a company makes a fantastic tutorial, the game is probably going to be really good, because it means that they understand their own mechanics, and then they understand how to teach them, which is like a whole nother level of progress. It's why like you feel detached from your teacher sometimes, like they're teaching you math and you're like, it's just he's up there like it's just fucking calculus. You just fucking this to the that and then you're done. But you have that gap of intelligence. And so one of the things that Bungie has always done a good job of in the raid is the tutorials. Like you'll learn mechanics all the way through the raid, and then at the end of the raid you have to put them all together.
Yeah.
But the problem is you're still in the fucking raid first.
Yeah.
So like I think you need to step people out of that and put them in a place where they have to learn the mechanics they're going to see.
They learned. I feel like they slowly learned that, right? And we got some of the story missions that showed some of the mechanics like they wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of Destiny 1 cycle. So I feel like they've learned that, and I'm really hopeful for that, Broman. You got, they reimagined some of the strikes to have, using the Vault of Glass relic, right?
Yeah, using the relic.
So some of that stuff should have been earlier on, right? It should have been. I think they're learning these lessons and realizing that they can implement these tools and earlier on in the stories and get us prepared for these things. So I'm also with you guys. This is a great list of stuff we want for Destiny 2.
And we're going to find out in a couple weeks.
We're going to find out in
It's so soon.
So my daily routine brought up a good point, and I want to address it because I feel like it's going to come up in the comments of your podcast. And he said, or she said, but going into the raid blind wouldn't be a thing anymore because then you have an idea what's in there. No, so it takes out the element of surprise. The thing is that going in completely blind is super dope. And just because you learn mechanically what might exist inside the raid doesn't mean you're going to learn about those things applications inside of the raid. True. It also doesn't mean that they can't surprise you with some new things in there. Like additional mechanics that you might need to learn inside the raid, like Vault of Glass. There's definitely a way to teach people about what's going to be in there so they have a fucking clue and still surprise them.
Yeah.
Like if you played a strike where you just throw those balls, for example.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That wouldn't teach you exactly how.
And then there's it's called in teaching. It's in education. It's called scaffolding, right? You don't build a house by building the roof first, right?
Sometimes, dude.
Sometimes you got to build. Sometimes you got to build the unsexy stuff first, right? The concrete foundation. The
foundation ain't sexy. Come on.
All right.
Sorry.
It is. But that's my point, is that like in education we talk about this and you build in each parts and then you build the structure. But yeah, we're gonna get. I feel like they've taught themselves some really fundamental lessons from Halo, which was a very different game than Destiny, very different. And for a company to move from one genre to another, and as a matter of fact, I think make a totally new genre of game. Yeah. I think we got a good first outing, which makes me totally pumped for this next. And we're going to be seeing some really great stuff.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think you're going to be playing there while you're there? Like, do you think they're gonna show you
the raid?
They're gonna show you. They're gonna show you the raid.
Yeah. I've speculated a bit.
They're gonna show you all the exotics. The raid.
All the exotics.
They're gonna show you how everything works in granular detail.
They're also gonna show us the 7th chest in VOG as well. So that's gonna be amazing.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. I think it's going to be the beta that they're going to drop in the summer. I think we're going to.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. Is you'll have access to everything that's going to be in the beta.
Yeah,
and that counts, by the way, to our bet
as the alpha.
We had a bet as the alpha. Yes,
unless it says alpha on it,
and it also comes out right after the.
It is
right after the
defined as an alpha.
That is the 18th.
We talked about this as an alpha.
When Destiny 1, when we got the alpha for Destiny, it clearly said alpha in the top right corner.
Alpha is an industry term for. This is an alpha, by the way, and I'm gonna win this bet. Boom.
So wait. Now I'm confused. So you
We have a
think
bet
they're going to
going
fly
on.
everyone out there, and then the next day everyone's going to have access to play the game and stream it and shit?
I
Because
think
that seems like if I was, that seems like a really bad PR move for Bungie. Hey, we just flew every content creator out here, and by the way, here's this alpha, and by the way, you're all fucked.
no. The event itself is
the alpha
technically the alpha.
Gotcha.
No, that
Yes.
does not count. No, that does not count for
It
our
does.
bet, Poke. You were the terms of your thing was, oh, here's the live stream, and then they were going to drop the mic. I believe those are the words that you
And
used.
we were gonna be able to
He did say drop mic. He
The
did say
entire
drop mic.
Yeah.
community would be able
I don't
to
think
play
he
it.
did say entire community.
I did not.
He said
He-
we.
He implied.
Oh my
No,
god.
Oh, he did say we.
I said we.
I don't know.
Implied everyone.
I'm winning
not
this bitch.
us.
I don't think
I'm
he implied
winning.
anything. I think he used the specific words we.
I use we, and Broman, I am gonna win this shit. All
No.
right,
No,
I am gonna win. All right, let's talk about. You want to get into Twitter questions, Briar?
we probably should.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
We don't have a lot of time left.
Yeah.
It is. We are like an hour 45 then.
Roman's got to get to his lovely wife's birthday celebration.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Rocco317 says, can't make it to Guardian Con. Professor Broman, any suggestions on enjoying the convention without being present? I guess you already kind of addressed this.
Well,
but
yeah, it's going to be streamed on Twitch. It's the production value compared to last year. We were able to spend approximately 8 times more money on the production value than last year. So that'll give you in orders of magnitude how much better it's going to be.
Nice.
Great.
We had one camera last year. This year we're having a full stage LED lighting. We're going to have a broadcasting booth. We're going to have multiple camera angles, high def, all that good hot jazz. So if you're viewing at home, you're still going to be having a good experience. You just won't be able to, touch my butt.
That's unfortunate.
Rip you.
Gator says, Professor Broman, if Trials comes back in D2, what form or game ideas do you wish for it and why? I'm not going to lie to you. I was watching your stream the other day, and you were talking about not bringing back
I don't
Trials.
think that
Like,
Trials should come back
very
in
big
Destiny 2. I think that ranked play for every single type of playlist should come back with tiered rewards that pay out monthly or quarterly.
That would be amazing.
So if you want to see Trials of Osiris, it would still exist in that format. It just wouldn't be called Trials of Osiris. It would be ranked 3v3 elimination.
Yeah.
I think that Trials disproportionately rewards one specific play style and game type compared to everything else. I think that that's a bad choice, because even if 50% of your community enjoys that game type, the other 50% that enjoys PvP but not that game type is left out.
Yeah.
So in my mind, the only way to include 100% of PvP players is to have ranked 1s, 3s, and 6s that you can go in and compete for top level gear without waiting for a special period of time. I think Trials was a fantastic experiment, and it did a lot of things for the longevity of Destiny 1, but I think it needs to stay in the past. And I'm predicting, if we want to get on the prediction train, that when it is revealed that Trials is never coming back or whatever, Deej is going to write something in the fucking TWAB that's going to be like, listen, we know that you're sad and you understand you're going to miss all these things from Destiny 1, and you'll always be able to play Trials of Osiris in Destiny 1. That is how Deej does things. I want to see the community.
I totally hear him saying that.
I want to
Yep.
see you can hear him say that shit. I want to see the community be moved forward, and I want to see the full PvP community. This is coming from a guy. Listen, I do not even if you want to say like I'm a sellout and I make my money off Destiny, I make jack shit on PvP. That is not why people watch me. I could potentially be advocating for the thing that kills my job on Twitch, but I don't care, because I truly believe that a ranked system that embraces all players is better for everyone than a specific playlist that incentivizes a specific type of play and only rewards a specific type of player.
Yeah, I agree.
What I think is missing from the ranked, though, is that tournament feel of Trials, where you get in there with your team and you feel like you are in a tournament. You feel like
could even
you've got a
hold mini
little
tournaments.
taste of your little
I feel
little
like,
MLG tournament that's just going to happen for the next hour or two.
I get that, So let me propose a scenario to you.
Yeah.
It's the end of quarter one, and it's time to pay out rewards in 1 week. You log in and find out what rank you're in at your Bungie.net account, and you say, oh, fuck, me and my homeboys need to get on some sixes and play ranked. And that week, every single match of ranked sixes that you play is your lighthouse match, because you are fighting to maintain your top 100 position. And a loss could mean you need 5 wins to get back there.
Yeah.
So I think that you exchange the really fast burning wick that Trials has, where it's you have an hour and a half and the whole thing is complete, and you turn it into this slow burn experience that builds up to this massive explosion at the end of whatever. Yeah, seasons. It built up this massive explosion at the end of every month or 3 months.
Yeah.
And you see how hyped the communities around systems that use ranked seasons get. Like Overwatch, at the end of an Overwatch season, everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube is pushing like rank 10. I'm gonna get the fucking top 10. I'm gonna fucking do it. Like because there's so much more time invested into that. And like I do appreciate what they were trying to do with Trials. They were trying to give Destiny that CS:GO type feel, single elimination, you die. But economically inside of Destiny, I don't see that like single elimination with revives style of play really syncing up the same way that like CS:GO's does, where there's this economy and you can buy weapons and there's all this other stuff. So there's picks and counter picks. Whereas like with Trials, after the first week, every single fucking time there's a balance patch. First week, people are playing what they want. Second week, oh, cool, 3 Sun Singers.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Cool, 3 Sunbreakers. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Last round.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. You know, oh, awesome. Blade Dancers. Like every single time, it doesn't turn into a tournament. It turns into who can play the meta the most. And I think that's what we hear all of the constant complaining about.
Yeah.
And I'm on board with that. I'm on board with changing it.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from, but man, it has been intrinsic to the success of Destiny over the last 2 years. Like, I would love to see him change it massively, and not even release it with Destiny 2. Maybe it comes out with the Osiris DLC later, but I just can't imagine a world where they don't bring it back.
Here's what I think, Briar. Here's what I think.
If they bring it back, it needs to be once a month. It needs to not be a limited time event that's around 4 days a week.
No,
that's
I
more
think,
than
I think they're going to change
not
it.
days of the week.
I've been telling people this also. Like I don't think Trials is going to be what we think it is today in Destiny 2. Just like Broman, like you're talking about, you're saying it's going to go away completely. I don't think they're going to spin it that way. I think they're going to spin it as ranked becomes Trials of Osiris, and the Trials of Osiris experience in Destiny 2 is completely different. You know, like that's honestly how I think they're going to spin it.
Oh yeah, so the Trials of Osiris, you could have a disciple rank.
Yeah,
and they've actually already got that linguistically built into the game right now.
Exactly,
disciple, adept.
And I think that would happen, again, like you said, in the next DLC. Master. So December comes, you get the Trials of Osiris experience for PvP and its ranked playlist. And just like you said, maybe like a seasons type of thing where you get a big payout at the end of the quarter or at the end of the month or something like that. But I think as it is right now, I think Bungie likes what happened, but I don't think they like how it evolved. And part of that also is the paying for Trials carries and stuff. I don't think Bungie likes that happening in their game.
I guess that's the other thing, is that I know from Blizzard to everyone, nobody likes seeing people using any system in their game to generate income as a service. Like it's against the TOS in most games. It's against the TOS in World of Warcraft. That's against the TOS. Like they just cracked down on guilds that were selling slots to do raid runs.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Bungie, at least when it comes to this, is it already in a really awkward position because they haven't taken or made any moves against anyone paying for Trials carries. They haven't shut down any of those services or come out and say we hate this or we don't like it. But I know in their boardrooms they can't be comfortable with the idea of that because most game companies aren't. Ranked would eliminate that problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if someone's gonna pay you for ranked, like that person is already out of their mind. I'm gonna pay to be on your team for 3 months, and I'm gonna play with you every single day, and I'm gonna play well, and I'm gonna fucking earn it. And why am I giving you money? Like, Yeah.
Do you? I think the when I remember some Call of Duty Black Ops, I think it was 3. The platinum rankings is Black Ops 3 the one that they did the competitive modes where you had platinum, silver,
They
gold.
started that with Black Ops 2.
I remember that really felt like it gave also the social playlists some breathing room to not be so toxic or like just be more relaxed. You know, I felt like the whole feel of it changed a lot from Black Ops 2 to 3 it just felt like it really provided the general feel for the whole community to be
Sometimes
sort of
splitting up your player base
is good.
makes everyone have a better time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. This feels more like a revamped Iron Banner than a Trials of Osiris to me.
Yeah, but with dedicated servers and yeah.
Speaking of Iron Banner,
Yes. We
Oh, yeah.
actually didn't talk
Hey,
about that.
Oh, snap.
Iron Banner is going to be Mayhem Clash.
Mayhem Clash. Yeah.
Mayhem Clash.
for the
Mayhem
first
Clash.
time
So
ever.
excited!
The first time ever. I think this is the first time I'm actually really looking forward to it because the game mode itself and not like, I want to try to get this God roll reward. No, I just want to go, I don't know, Iron Banner, just go use supers for the next 5 hours. It'd be great.
Well, there is a pulse rifle, there is a machine gun, there's all the armor we've already seen before, all the guns we've already seen before. Legitimately, what we're excited about is max light level, max supers.
Yeah, tier
Let's
12
go.
Mayhem.
Let's go.
Everybody jump in.
Let's go. What is it going to look like? I don't know. What classes are you guys going to run?
Golden Gun, because Golden Gun and Mayhem is the real fun police.
Yeah,
It really
I
is.
kind of agree with you.
It really is.
You get a team of 6 golden guns, it's rough to beat. Although
Yeah.
it is fun to do the 6 bubbles too. You get a lot of opportunity to spot those bubbles in Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Night Stalker is also pretty fun because you get to shut everyone else down and it's hilarious.
Now, when you run Night Stalker, Watts, do you run the tether or the shadow shot?
The tether, the one that lasts longer, makes
Right.
it last longer, and actually connects
Bigger
to people.
radius.
Because otherwise, it literally
Black
never will attach to anybody ever.
Yeah. You can walk by
Yes.
like the quiver. Like just
Oh, you can tell. Yeah, you can just walk right by it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're using quiver. I'm fine.
yeah.
Haha.
I'm like, oh, is that a friendly? Oh no, it's just quiver.
Broman,
fine.
what are you gonna run?
Sunbreaker.
Yeah.
Of course, man. I'm going to hit people with so many hammers in the face.
So would you say you're a Titan main?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
I
talking
don't like
about.
playing other classes.
No, they're stupid.
I'll
All
do
right.
it for fun sometimes.
Yeah, for fun, but we focus on the real thing. All right,
The
go
real maggot says, now that AOT has had time to settle in, what has been everybody's favorite update or DLC?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
Favorite ever?
Yeah.
Or DLC. God. I mean,
I'm going to.
Taken King for
For
me.
me, it's got to be the Taken King.
Yeah, Taken King, definitely.
It was so comprehensively changing the way we play Destiny.
It was a game changer.
It was
New
amazing.
exotics, new raid, new missions. I mean, it hung on the shelf for too long. Like it was the only content we were playing for too long. But when it was new, it was the best we ever had.
I might say House of Wolves, just
'Cause of
because
Trials?
that's when Trials came, and the beginning portion of Trials was the most fun I think I've had in this game.
It was good. That first summer
It
of Trials
was-
was fantastic.
Oh, it was so fun. So many people were playing it. You got all the shaders and the ship and all the armor, and the guns were amazing. So I think that was just probably the most fun that I've had in the game, and especially when you go to the lighthouse the first time and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is a whole area. This is crazy.
That was cool.
Yeah, so I think that was amazing.
I don't know, man.
I'll say Taken King because that's where we saw that kind of paradigm shift, so to speak, in kind of how the investment system worked in Destiny, which was the real true problem of year one. And then going into year two, it's like, okay, you have this kind of path that you can work towards now with Infusion. Then once they fixed Infusion, it's like, okay, this is great. This is awesome.
Can I say vanilla? Can I say
Yeah.
the original release?
Absolutely.
'Cause that's honestly my favorite. It was the best. I mean,
I
it
would-
had so
I
many
would
fucking
say-
problems, but it was so much fun just figuring everything
I would
out.
say vanilla for me as well, because that's when the game had the biggest amount of grind.
Yeah.
And
very true.
I'm a huge fan of slower progression systems like that. I just
too.
love that.
Yep.
I was mad
Vanilla
though.
was probably my
Dark Below when I
favorite,
had
but
to
like
regrind all
Taken
my
King's got a
exotics.
special place in my heart, man. Like
Taken King was good.
Taken King's special, man. For me, that
That's where
fucking
you-
raid.
Yeah, that's where you guys made your name in the world. You
My actual, I did something before anyone else in the entire world. So suck it.
Good.
you planted
Yeah.
your flag on the moon and said, "Come at me."
Yeah, man.
I've-
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It was killer.
yeah, that's good, man.
Twig 1987 says, "What would your one bit of advice be to new Twitch affiliates?"
Oh, new Twitch affiliates.
Be really, really careful about pulling the trigger to be an affiliate, because you are making the statement, whether or not you intend to, that says, I am now trying to make money with my stream. And if you make that statement too soon, it will be perceived incorrectly. That is my biggest piece of advice, as that there is such a thing as over monetizing your stream. And when you approach anything on your stream, when it comes to monetization, you need to do it carefully and in a well thought out manner, especially with how perception is going to be perceived. Because if you pull the trigger too soon on monetization on your channel, you're not going to get enough support to make it continue happening. And so you're going to give up. And the second you pull the trigger on monetization, it changes the environment of your broadcast. Like, it took me a year to get partnered. I was averaging, this was back in the day, I was averaging 500 to 1,000 people every single stream, and I still couldn't get partnered. So, wake up.
It used to be really,
It used to be very difficult.
partner too.
But what I'm saying is that there, even though that was a really hard struggle, and things are definitely different on Twitch now, it's much easier to build a community and make a decent living off of Twitch if that's your goal. The approach that you have needs to be really open, really honest, and well thought out. Because, like for me, I didn't put a tip button on my stream until after I got my sub button. Because anytime someone wanted to give me money, I said, I don't want your money yet. I want you to tell 5 friends about my stream, and I want you to make them watch. Because what you need to prioritize when you're starting your channel over anything else, over money, anything, is growth. Because the community that you build is going to be the community that ends up supporting you. So, the affiliate option is incredible. And for some people, it is going to be the make or break point. They got their affiliate status, and now it helped give them the extra push to buy the equipment they needed to go full time. And that's awesome. And if that's where you're at, do it. But if you are questioning whether or not you're like flipping that switch is going to actually turn into a revenue stream that's going to help you improve your broadcast, if that's your goal, or fund parts of your life, if that's your goal, you need to really think long and hard about whether or not it's the right time to pull that switch. Because once you do, you can't turn it off.
It's really good advice.
Yeah.
It's a really deep answer, but
No, that's really good advice, because I think that's a lot that people are not thinking about. They see that, they get super excited, and they jump right in. And I think it's just really good in general for anyone, whether you are getting a partnership with a company to upload YouTube videos, whether it's Twitch partnership, whatever it is. It's very important to say, take a step back and think about what this is, what you are doing, what you want. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I've
advice.
seen it happen a couple times with like people that do YouTube, and they have like the required channel size of YouTube to just automatically get Twitch partnered, and then when they immediately go into the Twitch, they're not aware of the culture or anything like that, which isn't really a problem with the affiliate program. You're building up your user base and everything, so you're kind of aware you're already in the environment. But people will basically come in and be like, okay, this is another revenue stream for me. Awesome. And then treat it as such, and then wonder why their stream never grows, because it becomes very apparent that you're running ads like 5 times an hour, and you haven't invested into emotes or subscriber badges or anything, and no branding on your channel. You're just basically trying to use this to make money, and people don't want to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to second everything that you guys are saying, and really good points from Broman. Something that I tell people also is you got to be willing to embrace the experience first before you make those decisions about whether or not you're going to, quote unquote, try to strive for full time. Because whether or not you can make full time largely has a large part of its luck in that. Like, you get lucky with people wanting to show up and be part of your community and so on and so forth. But the other ingredient in that is being consistent. And if you're not going to enjoy the consistency part of it, then it's going to be exponentially more difficult to get lucky and grow a viewership and then become full-time. Because if you think getting partnered makes you full-time, that's far from the truth. That means you just started and you have a lot of an uphill battle once you get partnered, because
once beer money.
You get beer money. Yeah. Once you start having people subscribe to you, that means that you're making a commitment to them, that you're saying you're going to show up. And let's say you have financial problems at some point, but you've made that commitment to them that you're going to show up. That puts you in a very difficult catch-22 right there. So you really have to think.
The catch-22 comes back as a backlash. It comes back as something that people may not be prepared for, in that they expected something from you and didn't get it. And so it's like a consumer that,
exactly.
I bought a month's worth of you mowing my lawn, and you only mowed it for the first week and then never came back.
Yeah.
You only mowed it for 20 hours a month. I expected you to do it for 40 hours.
Maybe that's a bad example.
Life came up and suddenly you can't stream for 2 weeks because of some sort of job opportunity or something like that. Your subscriber base that you currently have that isn't supporting you full time is going to be affected by that, and they can take that in the wrong way, and that can hurt your growth right there. So what Broman's talking about is 100% on the point. Like, you got to be willing to think through, like, the next 6 months to a year, how you're going to operate a stream, and if it's going to be okay, before you pull those type of triggers to monetize.
True. I streamed 12 to 16 hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week for 2 years.
That's insane.
Commitment.
That is how I made my channel. If you want the real God's honest truth, is 12 hours a day, 12 to 16 hours a day, every single day for 2 years. And then when I started taking my 1 day off a week, I think like a year and a half after Destiny launched, I still was having aneurysms about not streaming enough. So it is a heavy amount of commitment is required to make the dream come true.
Yep.
Once you get your chance.
Yep.
Let's do
Chowdhury says, what are you guys planning to do if the Destiny 2 beta goes live during Guardian Con?
Cry.
I'm gonna go to Best Buy and buy a PlayStation, bring it to the hotel, and hole up for the next 4 days.
I'm gonna be over at Broman's house.
Honestly, I did that when me and Toma were in London, and I think it was the first Iron Banner of something dropped, and we were like, damn it.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
So we went and bought monitors, PlayStations, and we grinded out what we needed to while we were there. So, yeah, I would definitely do that. I would for sure go and pick up whatever it was that I needed. I might even bring my mic and my laptop and my Elgato and all that stuff, just in case, and then pick up a PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, yep.
I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen though. Like,
that would be cruel.
That'd be a little cruel.
I'm going to consider that highly unlikely and very poor on the part of any sort of marketing team that works for Activision or Bungie.
Yeah, I would expect.
I mean, and this is we can circle back around to this because it didn't get asked, but I can address it. About creating content at the event. like just the same way that they wouldn't like launch a beta right after people were there. I thought that it was really peculiar that they didn't make accommodations for people who are broadcasters and streamers to stream from the event. That's why I'm not attending, like primarily because my job exists as a live broadcaster. And if I'm not live, then I'm not there. And to me, the fact that they didn't make accommodations for streamers was basically like them telling all of all the YouTubers, like, you can come and play the game, but you can't record video and upload it to your channel.
Right.
Every YouTuber would be like, cool, fuck yourself. Like, I won't be attending your event. Or if all of the press and media folks were allowed to come, but they couldn't take pictures or write about it. There are accommodations for every other media representative at the event, except for live streamers. And so I think that, and I don't blame Bungie or Activision. This is a choice that is made every single day across every single game developer. They're starting to recognize, and they'll confess to you verbally, like, Twitch is important to our brand, but they are not at the point where they view, even though they'll tell you live streaming is an important part of our brand, it hasn't made it high enough up in the company that they are making plans to say, we're bringing out 20 streamers. We need to block out 20 hours of broadcast time on these 3 things, and we need to let them come on, stream this game on their channel for 1 hour, and then it's a fair trip for them. You know, and I'm hoping that in the future, I'm going to keep having this conversation with every game developer that I talk to, because Twitch is crucially important. It's becoming more crucially important to longevity of games, and if people want to get big broadcasters out to their events to be there and be part of the social media push, they have to let them do their jobs at the event. And until that happens, it's I mean, I'll never leave my house to go to an event if I'm not going to live stream there.
Because your point is your audience and your medium are in observing their live stream. So it makes more sense for you to be doing that at home and to be watching it live. My
favorite example, because people ask me about this all the time, is when I did the House of Wolves reveal stream. I was up there in front of 182,000 people. So obviously I must have gotten like 10,000 followers on my Twitch channel. No, I got 400. So you tell me whether, and I'll flip this. When Goth did his stream, he had 160,000 people. So like he must have got 10,000, right? 300. But do you know how many I got that day? Because I was online and he wasn't. I got 5,000.
Wow.
So the value, and it was from that trip that, you know, Corey and I, we work together a lot. We sit down, we debrief each other. We try and work over these numbers so that we can share the information with everyone. And what we learned is if you're going to go to an event and you're not going to be able to stream on your channel, there's an extremely, extremely tiny amount of transfer from your presence at another event coming onto your Twitch channel. Your Twitch channel grows when you are live on your channel, period.
And those days are solid gold because you got the ramp up leading. Everybody's getting on Twitch leading up to the event. And then the event ends in that directory. You know, everybody just like spreads out through that directory.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So,
100%,
leaving during the crest of a wave of hype is a really, it's a bad, it ends up becoming an increasingly bad business choice the larger your channel grows on Twitch or any platform that involves you being live.
Yeah.
So sorry to go off on a rant there, but
no, it's good information.
To anyone, any live streamer, my advice to you is you need to really, really, really consider your cost benefit analysis of leaving your stream to go do any event.
Yeah.
Think about it. And see, that's the thing is like, so I'm not going because that cost benefit analysis to me didn't turn out properly. Right. And so people are like, oh, so everyone that's going to fucking moron then, huh? Is that? And like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for me, my cost benefit doesn't pan out. But let's say you're a newer broadcaster and you got invited. Holy shit. I have a chance to go network with 200 other broadcasters that I could potentially stream with all the time, co-stream. These people could host me, raid me. We could work together long term. like that has a shit ton of value as a growing
And you got
broadcast.
hands-on experience.
And you get hands-on with the game that you can bring back to your community. Like, so there are just so many different factors when it comes to making decisions. And I guess it goes back to the discussion we were having earlier about the affiliates. But if you're operating your stream and you're trying to do it long-term and you're trying to think about it like a business, think about it like a business, which means sometimes you have to make really hard decisions. I was honored as fuck to be invited to the thing, and it shattered my heart into tiny pieces to tell them no. And that's the most honest answer I can give you. But like, I have a family and I have a community on Twitch that I want to be there for.
Yeah.
And that's how it broke down for me.
If you're any size YouTuber, though, you should probably go.
Yeah. On the flip side, if you're a YouTuber and you don't go, like, I will come visit you and we can have a completely different conversation that will involve me swearing at you for an hour.
Yeah.
Gary, let's do like 3 more. We're getting pretty late here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gary Alderette says, have you named your guardian/ghost? What would you name them if not?
Gary.
I have not. It's not really something I've ever thought about, naming my ghost or my guardian.
I basically call my
Because my
ghost
guardian's me.
Dinklebot.
Yeah, the ghost is Dinklebot, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty easy.
And I am the guardian. You're right.
Right.
Watts.
Yeah.
I don't
Neither
know.
of them have enough personality for me to assign like a. They got less personality than my dog.
Yeah. That's the biggest problem right now with our guardians, is that our guardian and our ghost, it's
They're
like,
avatars. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not people. They're not characters.
No.
and they're coming over to D2.
The only thing that's coming over.
Most interesting Korean says, would you, I'm sorry, hold on. Would you raw butt a public gas station toilet for $100?
No.
I
would.
did that like 10 times driving across the country.
Yeah, you did.
For
Raw
free.
butt, huh?
Yeah.
No,
If anything, you paid
sanitary
that.
cover, nothing.
You didn't put any paper? You know, off the wall?
No. No.
Really?
Really?
That paper has been sitting there on the wall.
Not
For a
touching
very
anybody's
long time.
ass.
No,
No, but it's been sitting there.
We're
It's been
getting pissed
collecting.
on.
Yeah, we're getting pissed on.
fermenting in that area. Whereas that seat is getting constantly cleaned. Okay?
Is it?
Yes.
From a gas
Is it-
station?
It's like the easiest $100 I could ever make.
I know. It's like,
Yeah. I agree. It's a quick $100, but you know what else are you taking away from that deal, Broman? You know, $100 in a case of what?
Gonorrhea.
a case of which bank account do I deposit this in? Like that's $100, man.
Just turn around and spend it on, like, you know,
Creams
soda.
for the rash.
Yeah. I don't-
Magic cards. Magic cards.
Cream for the rash.
All right, last question. Mr. Tug says, May 18th is on Thursday. Will there be an IRL community podcast that day?
Our plan for the podcast right now is that we're all going to the event.
Yep.
If we have time to do something like the day before, maybe day of, we'll figure it out. But if you want to tune into the stream, it's just going to happen the following day. Our normal stream, instead of being on the 18th, it will be on the 19th.
Yep.
So one day after.
Same
And
time.
that'll be way better because then we would have
Yeah.
all played it. We can talk to you guys about our experiences. You can ask questions and we can actually answer them
Yep.
instead of just speculate. So
And we'll have
That'd be way
24 hours to sit on the ideas and concepts that we saw, as opposed to just getting our, like, literally, like, it was awesome!
exactly. I had fun playing video games. Woo!
All right, that's it. I mean, we had a lot more questions, but we just ran out of time. I thank
For
everybody for asking them. I'm
we-
sorry we didn't get to all of them.
Yeah, and before we leave, though, we do need to talk about. We brought up Guardian Con, but we didn't talk about. We promised our audience some details as to what we were doing for Guardian Con.
Oh yeah, tell everybody what you're doing.
And with Professor Broman here, we wanted to talk about it. We're really excited. Every one of our guests, you guys have been following us on Twitter. you see us announce our guests, they get announced through our great artist or illustrator Ash. She puts together an illustration of every guest every week, and we're working on a poster where we're going to be having all of those guests. Some of them are actually going to get redrawn, but they're going to be on this poster, and there's going to be space around, and we're going to be handing those out at GuardianCon for people who come by the signing, to come. What is it called, Broman? It's called a
meet and greet.
Meet and greet.
Yeah,
so we do
Yes.
signatures. We sign.
Yeah. You're doing a meet and greet. Yeah, it's a
meet and greet. All right. So there's scheduled meet and greets at GuardianCon. We'll be having those posters there. You come by, you can have one, and it's going to have all of our previous guests on there, and we're pretty excited about it. We're gonna hope you're going to get an opportunity to run that around GuardianCon and get everybody that's there to sign it. We're also going to be doing a live podcast in the small podcast in the smaller podcast auditorium theater, and then we're also going to be doing a special event for GuardianCon, the audience there in the larger theater. That will be much like like our podcast here. We're going to be changing it up a little. I don't want to tell too much about it, but we're going to have some really cool guests there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an awesome one. And then we're also going to be doing individual live interviews at our booth. We're going to have a booth there where all the people that have been previous guests, including some future guests, will have time slots where they'll be stopping by for quick 15-minute interviews as to how their experience is going at GuardianCon and what they're excited about, and then make sure to stop by our booth and see any of the stuff that's going on there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
It's really gonna be good.
Yep.
We're also going to be involved with. We haven't finalized, and I don't want to get into Broman's stuff, but we're also going to be involved with the lead up with the charity live streaming and stuff like that. So obviously tune in to us and GuardianCon for more details, but we are definitely going to be a part of it. We're excited about what you're doing, Ben, and thank you very much, man. This has been fun.
It's also,
thank you for having me on and letting me talk your ears off.
Nah, man.
Appreciate it.
It's awesome. It's also less than 2 months away, right?
It is. It's less than 2 months away from GuardianCon.
I didn't
Buy your
realize. Holy
tickets
cow.
now.
Charity stream even lesser away.
If I have a shirt, does that get me in?
Yeah,
Oh my
sure
God.
gets me in, right?
Yeah.
It gets you
Sure, it's the
into
pre-order,
jail
man, right?
because you got your ass beat. It's crazy how that happens. No,
wait, I
buy
bought a
tickets. Buy your tickets.
Yeah,
buy your tickets. Buy your tickets. Buy your tickets.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
The question is, will the posters strictly be at the meet and greet? The posters will be given out at our meet and greet. So make sure to come to those because we have a limited amount of those, and after that, they're going to be, we only have a fixed amount. So if we have more you may see them at the booth, but I wouldn't count on them being. I think I bought 1,000.
We're gonna have to hang 5 of them in the booth, so every guest that comes along just signs our 5.
Yes.
You can't
There
leave
you
until
go.
you sign these 5 at least.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. We'll do that, and we'll donate those to the live stream.
Donate it
We'll
to
do
my office wall. That's where I'm
Figure something out. Yeah, we can figure something
We'll do
out.
something.
We can figure
We'll do
out.
something.
All right, Broman, thank you so much for joining us today. I know
Thank
you
you.
have to get to your wife's birthday. I'm going to do the little sign off thing here. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you want to find more of me, I am Holtzmann or at Holtzmann_YT on Twitter. Come talk to me about food.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me at the Briar Rabbit on Twitter, streaming as the Briar Rabbit on Twitch or on YouTube. Just look for Briar Rabbit.
I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. You can catch the streams I do, twitch.tv/Tefty Teft, typically around 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I do some YouTube stuff every now and then.
And I'm Miss 5000 Watts. You can't see me, but if you do want to see me, you can find me at Miss 5000 Watts on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
And Mr. Broman?
I am Professor Broman. You can catch me at twitch.tv/Professor Broman, youtube.com/BenWCA because I made it in high school. Or on Twitter, you can catch me at Professor Broman.
And this has been Pope Bear. Obviously, you can find me on Twitter at Pope Bear, or hanging out in all these guys' Twitch channels and surfing the webs with them. Just want to let you guys know that coming up next week, we have the PvP god himself, KJ Hovey, on the podcast. And then, so make sure to tune in for that. And make sure to follow us on Twitter. We have the DCP Twitter account at DCP. No, it's at Destiny Community Podcast. Compod. Sorry. I hate
Buy
that
a t-shirt
Twitter.
so we can pay our artist.
It should be in the description of the video, guys.
It is always.
All right. Later, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay. You can stop recording now.